What up, beautiful people? This your boy Nate Jackson. It's another episode of Opinionated. I am excited. I am here with my guest today. Listen, my guest today, this is a special person. This is somebody who, unbeknownst to me, has found a new source of motivation when I already was in awe of said person's work ethic. I'm talking about writing, acting, directing, producing, literally somebody who has their thumb on the pulse of the industry, and the industry has got to know where he's at all times, because wherever he is, it's the Midas touch. I'm talking about the last 5, 6 productions, the last few people he's connected with, the last people that he worked with. He touched them gold immediately, people's body weight in gold. And when I was looking for a director for my own special, I told him, but he was literally a thumb and an index finger away from each other from directing my shit. It went a different direction, and I'm happy with what I did, but it's not like we aren't going to keep on shooting specials. I want to say all of that to say, my guest today is Erik Griffin.
Hey, you just said to me, like, if it was Christmas time and I went to the store and I was like, dude, I almost bought you a gift.
I saw what you have on your list in the window.
I had it in my hand. I was like, they gonna love this, and I didn't buy it.
I was a window shopper. But it came out crazy. And this ain't about me, though. This about what you're doing. Holy shit, bro.
I'm doing some stuff.
First, let's talk a little bit about what you've done in the last 2 years. Just a little bit. And then what in the hell you got cooking now, and then what you think is finna be next.
Well, let's see. I mean, I just shot a movie called The Everything Pot. It was in Tribeca last year. And I was telling him it just made the popcorn list of like undistributed movies. It's like this special list that comes out every year of like these are the movies that like, hey, you should buy these.
Watch. Yeah,
you should buy these, right? So I did that. I did a little part in a Pacino Vince Vaughn movie. I've been doing commercials, and then I've been directing. I've directed like the last 3 Matt Rife specials.
Woo!
Like the crowd would run lucid. I did a lot of work on that. Like,
yeah.
The whole intro was my idea, and like, this jigsaw puzzle you got to put together. It was like I sat with the editor for a week in New York, and my mother died on the way to New York. My mom passed away. So it was like so I think I was like hyper focused because I didn't want to think about that. You know what I mean? But so I've been doing that, and then I'm just like I'm out here. I'm trying to sell stuff. I'm trying to I look back at my career, and my career is like I'm on a treadmill set to 1. So it doesn't feel like I'm doing anything until many years later I look back and go, oh, I actually...
Well, every journey starts with a step.
I know, but sometimes people have a higher trajectory
I get it,
at
but
first.
They also burn out. It's the tortoise and the hare. If you
Yeah.
got your shit on a 1, guess what you are doing? Moving forward.
That's exactly what I'm saying. So
And
that's my advice, is what I'm saying.
A ton of people are either stagnant or literally moving backwards.
Yeah, or look, man, you don't know. And like I was saying to you before we started recording, I just had a kid, so I have a 14-month-old, and it's like it's really changed my focus too. Just like really wanting to.
Tell me about that, because you try to tell me like a kid will tenfold whatever you got going on.
Yes.
And I'm gonna be honest with you. At first sight, if there's a term for that in hearing, at first glance, that's some bullshit. But
all right, look. When you're single and you're trying to make it, your focus is about you. You're very self-centered when you're doing that. And it's fine, because that's people's drive. I want to be great. I want to be the best I could possibly be. If you have that. Not everybody has it.
right.
Not everybody has like a office like this and it says Nate Jackson Enterprise. Not everybody has that vision.
They don't know where we're at.
That's great. I took a picture of that, by the way. I love that it said Nate Jackson Enterprise.
It got better once you got inside, because outside you was like, it looked like an old-ass bank.
It was an old-ass bank.
It was some other shit, but we ain't here now. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, but anyways, my point is it's about you, and that's fine. Then you get into a relationship.
Okay.
Now, when you get into a relationship, you're still selfish. But what happens is you have someone to share it with, and that changes it. When you're sharing with someone, when you succeed, you shoot a special, you do a movie, you get a TV show, you book something, then you go into the significant other like, baby, I did this. And that person's like, yeah, baby, I know. And you're sharing this with them. When you have a kid, It now becomes about making sure that your family is set up forever. And that focus will change you.
Okay, so let's go back and cherry pick all through that. First thing is, shout out to you for having a partner that's like, yes, baby, yes.
Yeah.
That's
the hardest part.
bro.
I get it. But that's about, now let's cherry pick what you're saying. Make better choices.
It's not even about that, because what it is right now is
Shannon Jackson over here.
hilarious. Hey, yo, skip. So my thing is this, right? So, and we talk about this often, but if you're single and in the pursuit of it and it starts to hit, it affects your ability to secure that person.
Yes and no. I mean, listen.
Where the hell did you find your woman?
That doesn't even matter. The point is, like,
It's a man?
How you connect. And even if it was that, it don't matter. That could still be bullshit too.
Where'd you find your person?
We met on Instagram, okay? But that's not the point.
It is a good point.
No, we survived because of what we went through together.
True, but she met you on a platform where your bio is under your name and picture.
It don't matter how we did it. It's how we went about it. I'll never, okay.
She can't not know who you are.
No, that's fine. It was fine. This is what happened. She liked 3 of my pictures and started following me. To me, that's sliding into the DMs.
Okay? For sure. That's a tuggy.
So I slid into the DMs.
Yeah.
But I'm an old man, so I'm like, I want to get off this.
Yeah.
So
immediately.
So she was like, I said, come to one of my shows. She was like, oh, I'm actually going to a show. This is so funny because she was like beating around the bush because she was on a date that night.
Damn.
She was going on a date with someone.
Yes.
And she was going to a show. And I was like, well, I'll give you tickets to the show. She was like, yeah, but isn't it drink minimums? And I was like, okay, well, whatever. You want 2 tickets? Come to find out, she was on a date. So she brought a date to the show to see me, right? And I saw her in the crowd. And it's funny because at the time I had these jokes about like, I'm not going to be your friend. I'm not trying to be your friend.
Fuck a friend zone.
Yeah, I said, what I know now is like, first of all, friend zone is a choice. And to me, every woman wants to put you in the friend zone just to see if you a bitch.
Yeah, if you're going to let it ride.
Because once you go, I think we should just be friends. And if you go, okay, then they're like, okay, the pussy just dries up. You know what I mean?
How about I hit your legs with a bat, bitch? We're going to be together.
I always tell young men, like, if some girl says, like, I just want to be friends, your answer is no.
Straight up.
No, I'm trying to get with you. You know what that does? And lets her put up her boundaries.
Mm-hmm.
It lets her decide, oh, okay, all right, I know what he was trying to do. You're not trying to be this dude like in a year being like, I love you. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then she's going to be like, oh, no.
Right.
I need you to help me move on Saturday. Remember I'm moving in with Jamal? I told you.
Right. And pay for it.
Right. So anyway, my point is, okay, so she brings this guy, and I had jokes about that, and I was looking right at her when I was saying it.
Nice.
You know? But then the thing was,
cheer fucked her.
Then the thing was that she was on a date, so I didn't even wait. Afterwards, I just left. So she got mad about that. Like, you didn't even say hi. So you was on a date.
Right.
Right.
What the fuck you want me to
So
say?
then the next time I saw her, she invited me to just to see one of her friends sing, at that, what's the name of that club? Anyway, some guy was singing. He actually was a fan of me. He saw me and he was like, oh, Montez,
That's dope.
Why don't you sit here?
Right.
But I come to find out later that they had a thing.
Jesus.
And she was mad at him because he invited other women to this thing.
Okay.
So she invited me.
Yeah.
So then like I said, can we get out of here? Then we go out and start talking in the
just do our own thing, please, without my past or yours in present.
Yeah. So then we then after that we went on a date, and then we went on another date.
Where'd you go on a date to?
We went to we was walking around Abbot Kinney.
Nice, low energy output.
Yeah,
great connection.
Another time, and then the real one official date was we went to lunch, and we went to Wood Ranch at the Grove.
Who?
And then wait. Let me tell you.
I want to know who planned each, like who suggested each day.
No, it was like mutual because she was like at some kind of meeting doing something, and then I said, "I'll meet you there. There's like a restaurant right there. Let's just go there."
Nice.
And she ordered beef ribs, and was eating the beef ribs with her hands on a date like this, and I was like,
Woo-wee.
Gotta have it.
Yeah.
Gots to have it. Because you're telling me that this is who you are.
Yes.
You're not hiding nothing.
Right.
And she was a model. You know what I mean?
Right.
You know what I mean? At the time. So she was like dressed. She was on a model meeting. So she was all dressed up and eating ribs. And I was like, yes, you got me with that.
Yeah.
You're not trying to hide nothing.
Yeah.
You're not trying to be dainty. Can I have a diet water?
Right.
No. It was like beef ribs, please.
Yeah. Yeah.
So and then it just went like that. But anyways, we've gone through a lot of stuff. Like, we compliment each other. And so you can find someone like that. It's just like, we have to get past our initial recipe. So I always say, don't have a recipe. And that's what
What's
people
that
have.
mean?
It means that you already have the kind of woman you think you want.
Got it. That punk ass list.
Yeah, you have a list of things you want. Oh,
Men don't really have
3
it as
eggs.
we don't stick to it as tight as women do.
Oh, for sure.
Right.
But it's still there. It's still it's still there. It's initial shallowness and all that kind of stuff, which is like, it is what it is. But I'm telling you, like, once you get, because listen, if you meet like you meet a baddie who you think is just, this girl's dope, how easy is it for that person's mouth to ruin that?
Crazy fast.
Right. So that means that that other stuff isn't that important.
But
If it can be taken away like this, how important is it?
I'll say this though.
Mm-hmm.
If somebody hella bad, most men give them a little more grace because they bad as a motherfucker. Now, this is how I literally rationalize. I'll be like, now if she had a lump in the middle of her face, would I accept what she just said out loud?
Of course not.
Right, because that's the thing. I'm not trying to give pretty privilege, but we give grace for that.
But we all, pretty privilege is a real thing. That's the only privilege. Pretty privilege is that's the last privilege.
Right.
In every aspect of life, when people it's like, like transgender, right? The ones that like are super passable, they're the ones we call them brave. That ain't brave. Brave is you or me in a dress.
Right.
That's brave.
Toes out.
Me looking like this with a dress on, being like, I'm a woman. That's brave.
Yeah, you brave as fuck.
But if you a bad bitch,
right,
I don't even know.
Right.
So of course we give grace. It's like, I always think of it as like a hot chick with herpes. You still gonna be like,
condoms, guys.
Maybe I always think wet naps. I just wipe after every stroke.
Damn. Stroke wipe. I'm
just saying, man. That's so yes, you give pretty privilege, but look, man, you're getting older. You're gonna get to an age where the things that make someone a good partner are important. Those things are the things that last. The ones that are gonna be there for you. That's gonna support you.
Mm-hmm.
The ones that's gonna be in here, putting the merch in bags for you, being like, no, it's gonna be okay. When you're having tough times, know how to lift you up. That stuff becomes equally as important as the other thing. But when you're just out here in these streets,
I would say it outweighs it.
What?
That backbone, having that support outweighs.
I know, but
everything.
I know, but it takes a time to get there, and it's okay. Like we all go through a shallow phase.
Yeah.
Look, being sexually attracted to someone is super important. I get that, but why you become sexually attracted to them or what it evolves into is important too. So at first, it's just like I used to do a joke about this because you ask like guys like what are guys like in women? Big titties. Nice ass.
Yeah, 90% of the answers is
cute
that.
face.
Yeah.
And we only need 2 out of 3. I'm not, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
I don't need all 3.
Face card passing, no
I don't
ass.
need all 3. But you ask women, be totally different.
I need ass.
I get it. That's on your list. That's your. I have to have this.
Don't even need nostrils.
Boom.
Need ass though.
Okay, I get you. So what I'm saying is, you still gonna have that. What I'm saying is this. It's like finding a good house in a good neighborhood.
Right.
You know what I mean? Sometimes you have to have, this is a great neighborhood, but maybe, this house don't got the backyard that I want.
Right.
You make a choice.
Yes.
But you have to think about both.
Mm-hmm.
When we're young, we don't think about both. We just think about one. Look at this big house, but it's like in Compton. You know what I mean? So then you're like, well,
I think that's what I'm coming across right now is the best house in the worst neighborhoods. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I know.
Then you get over there and there's 12 niggas sitting on your car.
Right.
You're like, God damn.
When you pull up at night, you got to run inside.
Quick. Shit. With the blammy on you.
So I just think that as you get, once you start to like, What I'm saying is you can find that person, but you have to recognize what's happening in the moment.
Yes.
I just don't think that you should, don't look past the things that you find important just because of like whatever's right in front of you. So you look at what's right in front of you. I really like this, and then look past that quick and see what's going on.
Right.
So I say take time. I believe in the 90-day rule.
Steve Harvey's 90-day rule?
Yeah. I tell you why, because it's like,
with that girl.
Because I always tell women, I ask women, do you know how long a guy will wait to sleep with you? Forever.
A decade.
Forever. So we always gonna want to do that. I think you should change the reasons why he wants to do that. And that becomes about more than just the ass, face, and titties. It becomes about, oh, you encourage me. You make me smile. And my wife has, oh man, when I'm mad, because I'm a passionate guy. When you're a comic, you're passionate. You know what I mean? Like I'm the kind of guy, like if I if I'm putting this down and it falls, I go like, fuck, God damn it. You know what I mean?
The motherfucker failed.
Yeah, I'm just like, I get really, and she has a way, instead of like, oh my God, blah, 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 she'll know what's going on with me. So she might say like, somebody hungry?
Huh.
And then I get mad, and then I'm mad too. I'm like, maybe. You know what I mean? I'm like, maybe. You want a burrito?
You've been standoffish lately. Do you need some head?
What I'm saying is you have to find that person. The person that knows you.
Yeah.
The person that understands you.
Yeah.
She's great about it. My wife does this thing, and it's a tip for all you ladies out there that listen to the podcast. It's like she'll go, we need a 15-second hug. We might be going through some shit. I might be mad about something.
Right.
I'll be like, she's like, okay, we can't leave like that. 15-second hug.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, how disarming that is?
That diffuses
because I want to be mad.
Right.
I'll be like, fine, I'm going, then all of a sudden you're like, So it takes
I'm
it away.
sure there's some hugs and you didn't crack until the 14th second though.
Yeah, but hey, that's why it's 15-second hug.
Right.
She didn't say 4-second hug.
Has she ever doubled up? Yeah, you haven't released yet.
So
Another 15 seconds.
So what I'm saying is you find that person that brings those things out of you. But the thing is, my point I'm saying is allow yourself to find those things. Be vulnerable and let that stuff happen. Problem in society right now is we're so busy swiping and talking to people online, having these sort of fake interactions online. That's not who a person really is.
At all.
That baseball player who got in trouble because he was like into BDSM, whatever, right? So he's talking to a girl online and they saying all this stuff to each other. Then they finally meet up. They have it out, whatever happens, and then it gets out of hand and then she gets mad. My thing is like, y'all don't really know each other.
Right.
Just because you saying you want to do all this stuff don't mean that you want to do all that stuff.
Right.
And I think the problem with men is like, if I text a girl and I'm like, I want to eat your butthole.
Right.
When I get there, I'm trying to do that.
Yeah.
Sometimes I think women just say, oh yeah, that'd be fun, but they don't really mean it. And then when you get there and you're like, wait, can we read back the court minutes?
Where's your motherfucking butthole?
Yeah, the court minutes say,
bitch, I just drove from North
stenographer was
Hollywood
like-
to goddamn Oxnard.
Yeah.
Why are we doing a puzzle?
But the thing is
I know where the last piece is, bitch. You got me fucked up.
Right. But the thing is like, I'm just saying, I think that like you don't really know this person. So if you took some time to actually get to know this person, then you could be a little safer. You can really trust them. But we so caught up in our hormones and all that kind of stuff that we just get lost in it. And the next thing you know, you in trouble. That's what happened to Shannon Sharpe.
A lot's happening to Shannon Sharpe.
I know, but that's one of the things. Like, you meet somebody at a gym. She's way younger than you, which is fine. Like she a grown ass woman, right? So she's like, oh, here's this big black rich celebrity. Yeah, I got 500,000 followers. I'm an OnlyFans model.
Right.
I know what this is about. They have a 2-year relationship where they just banging it out.
Right.
And then it turns into what it turns into. But what I'm saying is like he didn't really know her. She didn't really know him.
Right.
So take some time to do that. If you take some time, you might find out, oh, this isn't a person that I really want in my life.
Right. She'd be like, oh, he's gay.
Or he would be like, oh, she's way too young. I can't have a conversation with her.
Which is a trip because he always be talking about he needs a woman that's got a certain mental astuteness. And then I'm like, a 20-year-old white woman, she doesn't understand you in multiple levels.
Yeah, but he didn't finish the sentence. He wants a woman with some astuteness when it's time for a relationship. He never intended to be in a relationship with this girl.
Yeah.
Ever, right? Now I was telling him, girls like that, I don't care what, and this is my opinion, but I don't care what a woman says if she's like, oh, I'm down with casual sex and I'm down. No woman really is into that, okay? So they fucking for 2 years, and then she was like being treated a certain way. And that's called strip club mentality. So when you treat somebody like that, then they in turn gonna treat you the way she's treating him.
She's like, you owe me for all the shit I let you run.
She was like, oh, okay, now he just became, in the same way that she was just a tight pink hole, he became a checkbook.
Yep.
And then they got him what they deserve from each other. But I just don't know why we involved in it.
I really don't.
Why are we involved in this?
If they're on some freaky shit, let them be on some freaky shit. She was of age. It ain't our business. The problem is it's unethical, and it's not going to work for the Standards and Ways and Means Committee at whatever network he's on.
Right. That's the sucky part. So
that's the part.
So I know he went in and he was like, "Look, let's just settle this," because a lot of professional athletes
she was
deal
like,
with
"Yeah,
this
but
a lot.
10 million ain't my number, player."
They just, but whatever. You know what though? Now she's not going to get anything now. She's going to get nothing. Zero money is going to come from him now because she's going to have to release everything now. You can't just show the doctored conversation.
Right.
Like what happens in court is way different than what happens in the public court of opinion.
Right.
Real court is different.
Very much so.
You know, so you rarely hear about somebody getting some money. You hear about settlements.
Yes.
But you don't hear about like, oh, we're going to go to court and this is what's going to come of this.
And whoever's in her ear then fucked up because $10 million for a 20-year-old is wild.
Wild.
Well,
okay, but check this out, though.
It's literally more than Shadur's going to make when he gets drafted in the 4th round.
I know. But check this out. But that, you know what, by the way, off subject on that?
Yeah.
That was just great business by Cleveland. That's great business. It's great business. Why draft this dude in the 1st round where now you got to pay him top 10 money? Because they make a lot of money now. Rookie salary is a lot in the top 10.
Yeah, it could be $36 million.
Okay. Now you go, we get the same guy, and we can have him now for 5 years. If he's great, we'll have him for 5 years on this rookie scale. And we got 2 other blue chip prospects. That was great business by Cleveland. And I bet you he starts by the end of the year. I bet you if they're not in the playoff now, they don't even have a real starter yet.
It was Deshaun Watson, but he got re-injured.
Yeah.
And then they had what's his name, Jameis Winston.
So when is their pick?
No. Jameis Winston is that? Yeah.
Jameis Winston. Yeah.
They have 4 quarterbacks.
Yeah, and they got Russell Wilson.
No.
Over at New York.
Yeah,
That's New York. I'm saying
That's what I'm talking about.
But I know Cleveland.
Cleveland has 4.
Yeah, including Shador Sanders.
Did they draft him?
Yes.
Oh, they did.
Yeah.
When?
Today, then.
Yeah, today.
4th round.
Oh, what the
I
fuck?
didn't know that.
Yeah,
What the fuck?
Yeah, they drafted him today.
Fuck!
Breaking news, motherfucker.
God damn it, we've been tracking the fuck out of this.
Yeah, they drafted him today. That's great business.
And he's a starter, 4th round starter.
I bet you he starts by mid-season.
He'll be starting by 3rd game.
Yeah,
And I'm watching.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah.
A brown Shador Sanders jersey, you want that now.
Yeah, so
And then somebody to fuck around and get their trade on and get 2nd round, 3rd round, 1st round picks trying to get Shador. Is Chubb still fucked up? Is he back?
I'm not sure. I'm not a Browns. Are you from Cleveland?
No.
Oh.
I was watching it because
motherfucker act like Cleveland's roster is in my Rolodex.
I just know like the few stars on each team. You feel me?
Yeah,
and
yeah,
Cleveland was the problem 2 years ago. We're like, man, he might actually Cleveland might be somebody to watch. They had Miles running around smacking the shit out of people. I'm like, they're actually a thing.
But look like you think you know someone, and then look at Deshaun Watson. That he never recovered from that. Ain't it crazy how he never recovered? Tiger Woods never recovered.
Right.
It's crazy, right? When,
yeah.
You know,
a vice is a vice.
Isn't the same lawyer who's taking this girl's case in Shannon Sharpe? Wasn't he involved?
Oh,
Deshaun Watson.
Probably.
Yeah. That's what they do, man. And they're looking for somebody who has history in that. Like, what lawyer should we call? Let me tell you who. We got Deshaun Watson's.
Dude, all professional athletes. That's why they had those like combines to talk about it. This happens more often than you think. It's just not publicized. A lot of professional athletes deal with this. They go to a bar with their friends, they have an altercation, or they talk to a girl, maybe they sleep with her that night. It turns into a thing. Lawyers get involved, and the lawyer always says, just settle.
Oh, yeah, it's a big bag.
Yeah, just settle. Just settle and get. No, it's because it's just easier.
Listen, this market right here is a special market for something like that. It's very similar to a Cleveland, very similar to Where's Keep Pounding?
That's
No,
Carolina.
Carolina's market where they're like Raleigh, Charlotte, in it, like these cities that are not New York, Chicago, L.A., Miami, Texas, right? So you got this crazy bad bitch whose dad was in town for 3 weeks on a military training, and he smashed a beautiful Asian woman and made a Kimora Lee that's running around making $32,000 a year. She's the baddest bitch in town, and everybody knows her. You get this young drafty. She meets him at the bar she's been going to since she was fucking 18. They've been letting her in. He dicks her down. He gets traded. She gets paid. On my fingers, I could by name tell you the fellas that have paid out bitches from the Northwest who are up here. I mean, they're going 2 miles an hour in a car that's out. That's the girls.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm starting a boutique.
Yeah.
With what money? Oh yeah, me and such, we ain't make it. I'm like, God damn.
I know.
He just hit what?
But dude,
And then the community support. I met a young lady. I don't even know her name. She was bad in the motherfucker though. I seen her before I met her. She was on the other side of this divider in this bar. I was like, ooh, wait. And then this dude came over and was like, yeah, I see you. I'm like, see what? He was like, I know who. That's all you looking. I'm like, nigga, who are you? He's like, I'm her homeboy. She's such and such ex-wife. I went to college with such and such. I was like, hands up, don't shoot. You know what I'm saying? But they introduced her like that was her shit. Like, I'm like, what talent she got though?
If that's your resume, who you were married to,
Bruh, that was the
about
introduction I got. I said, wow. And she was
but
decked out in a little onesie suit, little cake, little titty, little face, little all of that. I was like, man.
But think about this. Think about that, the $10 million settlement. You have to think about this. 40 to 30% of that is going to go to the lawyer. Okay. So that you have that off top, plus the legal expenses. So he probably told her, like, yeah, you know, 10 million. He is not getting enough money.
Right.
You know what I mean? So then now,
the lawyer pushed it up. That's what I'm saying. Whoever's in her court.
But look,
we got to go 50 million to
just-
even make this make sense. You want to make 20, right?
I think they picked the wrong one because Shannon Sharpe already been embarrassed.
His ex then came to light too. Like, what about me though?
Yeah, but I'm saying, but he'd already been embarrassed by that fake live video that came out where you don't hear no cheek smashing. You just hear somebody.
And then
yeah. But so,
Michelle.
Yeah, you just hear.
Yeah, now he got a thick crust of not giving a fuck about public opinion.
Right.
To be like, this bitch lying.
Yeah, so he's like, you know what? Go ahead, put it out.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, put it out.
I'm embarrassed by this?
Yeah, go ahead.
I got
put it
roasted
out.
for standing funny getting out of a truck with a purse on.
Yeah.
I didn't give a fuck what you say.
So I think that this is that they picked the wrong one. They picked the wrong one.
They should have went after Skip.
No, they did.
They did.
Skip don't care either. Skip has some kind of lawsuit about him.
Well, that's a big lawsuit.
Makeup hairdresser saying
Yeah.
Skip was sexually advancing her at work and everything, but Skip has yet to say to publicly address any of that shit he's going on. But he don't care.
Well, he's not on. But the thing too, though, is he's also not on TV anymore. So now he has his podcast.
He also didn't just sign a $50 to $100 million deal three
Well,
times in 1 week, which is what
he's
all
about
of it
to.
is. But that's the Shannon Sharpe shit. It's like,
right.
if you had an issue all this time, why you wait until he cashes his check to now you got it? And that's where everybody is like, hold up.
I know. Listen, it all sounds like a setup. Like anytime, look, it's one thing for a phone conversation to be recorded by a third party.
Right.
It would be a totally different conversation.
Entirely.
But if I know I'm recording you and me talking, then my whole demeanor is going to be like this chick. I might just be like, so yeah, Nate, you know that time when we went to the thing and you did, remember when you did that thing you did? You know what I mean? Like, what we talking about?
Yeah. You got some good pussy, bitch, but you talk like a fed.
That's what I'm saying.
Let me have a big black baby. Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
You're texting like, I know, Shannon, but no means no. No one talks like that.
At all. And he should have immediately been like, man, what the fuck?
That should have been his. But you know what? I'm sure he already knew. There was. I'm sure in the midst of it, he figured out. Like, of course. Listen, but what I'm saying is like, I have no sympathy for him because you put yourself in this situation because of like the nature of what you were doing, and it got out of hand. The sucky part is that when it gets into the court of public opinion, and that's where we're at now, because that when you get into the court of public opinion, which is a real court now, we have to just face the facts that this is what it is. People now get to decide whether you're guilty, you know. But what I don't like is that huge corporations are now making choices like this.
Yeah, they just pull out right away.
Yeah, just give it a second. I mean, one thing for the NFL, but the NFL isn't really a great example because they can't be defeated. But when they said, you know, we're going to support Jay-Z, they said, the NFL came out, you know what? We're going to wait and see what happens with this, and we're going to support our guy, which to me is like loyalty to me is important. And I think that, yeah, have some loyalty with your friends, with your
Please do.
You know, but loyalty is not no
Because
because
wasn't there somebody
the
that lost
woke
all
mob-
their contracts and then they were innocent, and then it was like, well, now what y'all got to say?
well, that's what happened to Jonathan Majors, in my opinion.
Exactly, Jonathan Majors.
Jonathan Majors is like, you know, because look, this is the thing with Jonathan Majors, and this is what I'm saying. It's about our own personal behavior. We have to be careful because it can get out of hand. Jonathan Majors is with this crazy white girl. They had a volatile, crazy relationship.
Toxic as
They
fuck.
were toxic as fuck that we shouldn't be involved with.
At all.
He's cheating on her. They in the car. He's texting with his other bitch, and she sees it. She gets mad. They have an altercation in the car. He's running away from her, and she's like running down the street acting crazy because a woman scorn is a real thing, man.
Yes.
Okay? It's a real fucking
Yes.
thing, okay?
Running in the rain,
so now,
screaming, crying.
Yeah. He had to call the cops on her so many times because she was, I'm going to kill myself, that
Yeah.
kind of thing. So now, here's the thing. They out in public. He's Jonathan Majors, the dude from Avengers, the dude from like the Marvel Universe.
Every fucking thing.
Everybody's looking like, is that the dude? Is that Kang?
Right.
And there's a white bitch acting crazy, right?
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure he grabbed her like, bitch, get in this car. Because it's like, you know what I'm saying? I get that energy. I'm not saying it's right, but I get the energy of like, we out in public.
Right.
Bitch, get in this car. And so he took her and bow. She hit her head. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then it turned into
Well,
a
she
thing.
tried to hit her head like,
Either way.
yeah, she holding her neck all long. Bitch, but shrink your neck and get in the car. Just like a nigga getting arrested. Nigga, my arm, my back up. Oh.
You know,
Like,
so-
nigga, you could have been just tucked and got in the car, nigga.
So then they go to court. They have this whole thing, and then everything's dropped because she got her pound of flesh.
She got a pound of flesh. Not only that, then the court of public opinion drastically shifted when he basically got a black princess from our community. And they're like, oh, now the wind in his sails is correct. And I watched him on an interview, very, very demure, cutesy.
Well, I mean,
He said,
because he had a group of people standing there.
no,
like,
he was one-on-one in an interview. I think he was with Charlamagne. Don't hold me to that. But they said, you know, how do you feel about everything that you went through? Like, do you hold a vengeance? Do you have are you scorned? Do you have a chip on your shoulder about it? He was like, listen, man, I went through everything I went through. And from that, I met my wife. I'll stop there. I met my wife, Megan.
See?
From all of that, I got Megan.
Mm-hmm.
Stop there. That's like quote unquote. That's what he said. I was like, whoo.
Which is perfect full circle to what we started this conversation about. You got to find your Megan.
Yes.
You know what? Helix Sleep, everybody. It's a mattress. No, I'm kidding.
With that, it is time for a word from our sponsors. A word from our sponsors right now. I'm going to go right into it, man. I need all the fellas. This is what I want you to do. I want you guys to check out hims.com. If you want better sex, hair regrowth, if you are looking about losing weight, tackling your anxiety issues, go to Hims. They have an answer for what you're going through right now. For little guys, medium guys, big guys, they have it sorted out. Go on to Hims. Go ahead, head in the right direction. Eat healthy. Get strong. Learn about weight loss. You need to find out about if you're supposed to be dealing with GLP-1s. You need to find out what's your blood type. Are you eating the right things? Are you inflaming yourself? Are you when you think you're losing weight or doing things to lose weight, are you doing the best thing for who you are? Because nobody is the same. Listen, it's more than a plan. It's personal. Go to hims.com and get right. Also, second sponsor we're going to go right into right now is the Roses Collection.
Oh, yeah.
By your boy. Listen, I have procured some of the dopest fashion that is available on the planet. I'm not just saying that to say it. It's literally manufactured and made in Pakistan. We have combed cotton, 510 GSM. That may not make sense to you as you hear it, but just know the average sweatsuit in America is about 220 to 280 GSM. When I tell you I have sweatsuits where you put it on and you can't barely bend your damn leg, we're talking quality. I'm talking the type of shit that Nordstrom's, you be like, you got anything else that ain't out here? They be like, we'll be right back. They come out with my level of quality shit. This is a prototype, but it's coming. This is a rhinestone denim, filthy-ass denim jacket, along with the all-over print roses that's coming. Go to rosescollection.com. It is for the big guy that wants to get fly. Tired of going to the mall and being rejected? Oh, we don't carry your size? You got to go to the swap meet to get something? You gotta go online, go to boohooman.com and wait on your big-ass clothes to show up, and they still don't fit right because they're made for somebody with little shoulders and a big stomach.
Preach.
And you got a little stomach and big shoulders. Not me. My size charts fit us. I am looking to replace the footprint that was Sean John, and we're ready. We have tons of clothes. Not just waiting for it to come. You're not just signing up for a pre-order. If you order it right now, it's in the mail right now. You have it in 2 days. Filthiness. Sequenced hoodies, sequenced jackets, jeans. We have blue jeans. We have black jeans. We have everything but shoes. This hat, this is the Roses. It's going down. TheRosesCollection.com. Get yours today. Now, want to talk about what's next?
Well, what's next is like, let's see, I'm working with Matt Rife right now, about to do another special. And, you know, like I said, I've done what's that?
That's somebody's motivation. Go ahead.
Oh, I've done that's crazy. Yeah, white girls hidden in the walls. Let me out!
Somebody got a baby in the hallway of an adjacent office space.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And it is giving, and you can't hear it because these mics ain't gonna pick it up.
Yeah.
But just know that a baby just
that was
went
weird.
nuts in the hallway.
But anyways, so that's what I'm working on now, man. I'm just, I'm directing. I'm trying to do some shadowing so I can like start doing like movie directing.
Okay, hold on.
Yeah, because I'm trying to.
Here's the thing. I think it is the natural progression for anybody. And I would say, Matt, myself, anybody who is putting out specials and going, here's an idea, and then successfully bringing it to fruition with, major crew, to be like, man, that same energy, we could have shot a feature.
Yeah, for sure. But, this is what I love about Matt, his first special. And I wish I would have just directed it. His first one, OnlyFans, he did it himself, man.
The one that was directed by...
he did it himself. There was no real director. Because it was somebody who was supposed to
just
direct.
Him and Paul were helping.
Yeah, somebody pulled out on him. Yeah, it sucked. But anyways, so he... and I was there, though. You know what I mean? I was there. I did a little warm-up for the thing, and I gave my advice, and I was doing the thing. And then, like, he did it himself, And then, like, I was like... And you know what it is? I always... He always had this thing where he would call me and he would like argue because he wanted to argue a point and get like approval.
Yes. Permission. Yes.
So one day I said, why are you fighting with me? Just do it.
Right.
Just do it. You don't need anybody to tell you that this is okay. You just do it. And if it works out, good for you. And if it doesn't, you took the damn shot.
And you learn from it.
And you learn from
do it again. Now you know what not
so
to do.
So he did it. And then he started to blow up. And then he was going to do his second special, about the one Stephen Matt Rife, which was about his grandfather, The
Vulcan one.
Yeah. And he said, I said, I'm directing this one.
Yeah.
I
don't want to hear your fucking mouth.
Yeah, so I did that one, and it was great. I loved that one. I really loved that one. And then
that had a lot of heart.
Yes, it did.
Yes.
So then he it was great. Like I loved working. I love working with him. Just like because he's a sponge, and he's like but he still has his own ideas. But we have a good work. I'm like the Matt Whisperer. You know what I mean? So so then we did. So then the Netflix one came out, and they wouldn't let me direct that one. Netflix wouldn't let me direct it. Okay. So there was supposed to be a director. Some stuff happened. They had to. The Netflix people saw me working with him, and then they had to fire their director at the last minute. And then I stepped in.
Yes.
And then it was, I was like doing a Marvel movie. It felt like we were at the theater in DC.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This huge theater with 7 cameras, and I'm just sitting here like, oh man, But I took charge of it. I'm a grown ass man, so I'm like, this is what I want to do. I've had people hit me up from that special like, man, I loved your video village. I loved how you were.
Nice.
I loved working with you. And I was like,
involvedness,
good.
yeah.
I like to hear that, right? And so then I did that one. Then we did Lucid. Now we're about to do another one.
But now it's no more like, oh, somebody else. We want someone else, and then now it's like Eric's. We're going to Erik.
Yeah, exactly. So now it's like, cool. I have a good relationship with the guy. I know how to, I know what they want. I know the Netflix algorithm thing. I know what they're looking for. I know what's important in these specials.
Right.
And it's like, so I'm ready to do that. So I love doing that. But at the same time, I'm still an actor. I'm
fucking accomplished actor.
I'm writing, you know what I mean?
What are you writing?
Well, I'm working on some pitches for, and so I'm now I'm now trying to do it myself now because now with all these like AI formatting apps, any app you could be like, let's say I write a paragraph, but I don't know how to do interior, podcast studio, I don't know all that shit. So now these formatting apps will help you. Oh, okay. Well, this is how you're supposed to do this.
Really?
Yeah, man, it's great. So now, like,
what formatting app is that?
Any app,
so you put your idea.
You can put your idea,
ChatGPT, and go turn this into movie format.
Into format because you don't want this thing to write for you. That's not what you use it for. You use it. It's all about the prompts. So you might say, "Help me step by step."
Yeah, for sure.
Format this.
Right. You are a genius screenwriter.
Then you just
You write like you write like Tyler Perry, but more believable. I have an idea for this, and this. Put this out. Give me act one.
So you don't You don't want to do that. 'Cause that's what people do.
Okay.
You want it to be like you want to control all the artistic elements of it. Because you want it to be what you know what I mean?
Right.
But the thing about it is that you may not know, like I say, you don't know the formatting. That's like a big hurdle to know, like, where do the titles go? Where are the descriptions of, what is the tabbing? All that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I took about 4 years, took Second City, all that to learn that. So it's exciting to be like, okay, I can just go with the raw idea into this thing, and it can kick out my idea in the right format.
That's what I'm saying. It's important. But I mean, like,
even if it's a template, to be like, that's not the dialogue I would have said. I can change all that shit.
You can change all of it, but at least now you work. To me, it's like a writing assistant. But that's what in all businesses, it's like 5 years ago, these like video editor guys would be like, let me, I'll put your videos together for you, and it's like $100 a video.
Yeah.
Now it's like, no. For $100, this AI app is going to pump out 50 videos
with the template you want, with the color of your
That's what I'm
captions.
saying. So, but
everything.
what I'm saying is to the video person, it's like use this as a foundation. So it's like now you could, because now they have these apps where like, let's say even with this podcast, right? It'll transcribe the whole podcast, right? And then you could pick a moment in the podcast and go start here, end here, and that'll be the clip.
Yes.
So what I'm saying is like for a person that does video editing now, you use this as a template to increase your workflow.
Much more workflow.
So now it could be like, so I don't want to hear about you getting $100 for one video.
No. I
better have 10 videos a day.
One efficient person using AI and all that should be able to output what it took 14 to do before.
Exactly.
Straight up.
So that's what so when you think about what was happening with the strike and all that kind of stuff, it's like, you can't put this genie back in the bottle.
No, it's out.
You can't, it's out, and you just have to but you have to use it the right way. Again, it's like, it's really just about the like I said, the formatting and the spell check, grammar check, all the kind of things that maybe have been holding you back. You can now, there's no excuse to not.
I wrote a movie.
Try.
Me and BT Kingsley wrote a movie. It's fire, but I think now, like, if I had that technology back then, like, man, we could have finished that in 2 weeks, not 4 months or whatever it took with us fucking sticking 3x5 cards on a wall and then filling in the dialogue and the description. Like, we took our time and did it. We followed, the Save the Cat and all of that. We did, Snyder rules of writing scripts. And I'm like, man, you could just plug that in AI using the Snyder rules, and it knows. It pulls it. Boom.
Well, it's all about the prompts too, because you might say to your AI, I want you to look at my script as if you were Snyder.
That too.
And then tell me what moments. It's prompt. The prompts are everything. You could say like, read this as if you were a network executive. what are the do's? What are the pros and cons of
What
this
notes
idea?
might you have?
What
for
notes?
my script? Now you're addressing the notes.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. It's like use the thing, but again, you can't have it due to creative because it's gonna be awkward.
No, I'd be all over the
weird.
place. And not only that, it's pulling from other shit. So now it's not even unique.
Yeah. You don't want it. You don't want that.
But I'll say this. I find that my creativity comes in waves. Like I'm always creative. But sometimes I might be like, I want to draw, I want to paint, I want to, like, jokes will come to me. Or I'll be like, nah, I want to write. Like, I'm getting into a place where I'm like, I want to write a couple of movies. Again, like, and I've done it before. So I know what it feels like to be like, I just want to lock up and just knock one out. Like, we did a world tour leg of my tour, and there was a hotel in Oslo, Norway. And we stayed in, like, these weird little rooms way up top. And I was like, this is the weirdest fucking little room. But I would come back here and just lock up and not get out until I am done. And that's it, right? Like, my sister is a national best-selling author. And I may be giving up too much information about her process, but her process is she'll find a pen that she loves. Mm-hmm. She'll buy 4 of them. She'll find a journal that she loves. She'll buy 4 of them. She handwrites the entire book out from first word to the last word, then has it transcribed into a book, then goes through the editing process. That's been a process for four books.
Whatever works.
Right. But I was over there and I went to this bookstore, and it's not like Barnes and Noble's over there. Like, they have a gang of shit. Like, it was a university bookstore. So I found these pens, I bought a shitload of them. I found these journals, I bought a shitload of them. We went to dinner. Crazy enough, we were at French Laundry at dinner, and I was like, man, you know how you told me you handwrite all your books? She's like, yeah. And I was like, I think I'm about to write. I got a pen. I pulled out the pen. I pulled out the book. She's like, let me see. She was like, wrote her own name. She was like, oh my God, I could write with this. That's all she needs to be like, oh, I will pour into these pages, you know? I told her, I was like, man, the way you do it is what I'm thinking about doing. I looked up from, I don't know, I was having whatever the next time, moose boosh or whatever the fuck. She's tearing up. Oh my God, little bro, you're going to do what I do? It was a nutty moment. I was like,
so what happened though? Did you finish?
Finish what? The book?
Yeah.
Didn't start, but that's not the point. The point is I'm going to, right? And I'm one of the people that say if I'm going to, I actually do it, right? And so, honestly, it's safe to say, like, you've been a part of Matt's journey, right? So Matt and I have known each other for a very long time.
Yeah.
Right. Like, I met Matt when he was literally an awkward kid with weird teeth.
Yeah.
And he was starting to work a little bit with Ralphie May. I did the Stardome, Bruce Ayers Club in Birmingham, Alabama, and he books midweek headliners. And at the time, I didn't have a following worth a damn. So he was like, I want you to come in and do Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Ralphie May's going to come and do Friday, Saturday. Ralphie May's feature is going to feature for you throughout the week. So over those 3 days where Matt was my opener, we were just like, you know, kicking it or whatever. And so we really like got cool. Fast forward to me getting on Wildin' Out. Matt's already there.
Yeah.
Everyone is like so worried about their fucking spot. Everyone is like in the corner, fucking battle rapping their shadow in a mirror and shit. And Matt's like, Nate, man, hey man, I would just keep it light around here, man. Just, you know, he gave, like, at the time I was like, man, I don't know if I'm supposed to, should I be looking to go toe to toe with fucking Justina and Chico Bean? And he was like, no, we're comic. We don't have to, we're not the battle rappers. When they get doing their shit, stay out the way. Take it from the guy that's casted for being white. I know what I am. I know what they're using me for, and just play to your strengths. Once you're playing to your strengths, they know what play to call to put you into, right? If you're a comic with hella bars, they start to be like, well, we don't know what, like, all right, fuck it, let's have a battle rapper versus Carlos. You know what I mean? Like, now you're in an uphill battle with somebody. All they do, they think everything in rhyme. Their whole life is prose, and you're thinking in jokes, right? So you can fuck around and win about. But Matt was literally like, man, we just play to our strengths, baby. This is cool. And I'm talking about people are over on this side smoking weed. Somebody's shooting 1,000 shots on a basketball game thing. Somebody's trying to fuck all the Wildin' Out girls, and Matt and I are just sitting there chilling, just like, yeah, man. So when's your next set, man? Yeah. Just waiting. And so got cool there. Then I get my club. I book Matt at the club. He comes the first time, and he sells 56 tickets out of like about 1,400. Paper the room like any other club would do. We have great shows. Right. Comes back the next time, and the way our ticketing program is set up is you can see when tickets are selling, but you actually have to go in and be like, who are they buying them to? Because we had a shitload of sales, and I was like, oh, this week is about to be crazy. Staff up. But I didn't do the step to be like, who's selling all these tickets? We had a regular weekend, and I was like, well, who the fuck sold all the tickets? So by Friday or Saturday morning, after I saw a regular Friday, I was like, hold up. I go into the system. I'm like, who are all these new tickets? Matt Rife. He had sold out 4 of 5 shows. And literally, I had talked to him on the Tuesday before that, and I was like, we're just going to put you on sale. It's all good. Like, so between Tuesday and that Saturday morning, he had sold out 4 shows. And I called him, and I said, brother, I don't know what in the fuck you did, but your needle has moved.
Yep.
And your deal doesn't make any sense if you're selling tickets like this. This has to be, listen to me, Matt. He's like, huh? Matt, listen to me. He's like, I'm listening. You can no longer do whatever the fuck deal we have. Not only that, I'm going to bonus you out because this is crazy. Like, you are in the realm of the guys that are asking for 90 and audaciously 100% of the door.
Yeah.
With ease.
He what was the club he went to when this first happened? In Florida. It's when it first happened to him in Florida. And the guy was like, well, here's your check. And it was like $13,000. And he was like, I don't think this is right.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and so it's like.
And he mentioned that on the phone because this was probably right before me for this experience. So I said, you can't do that no more. So I don't know who your people are. I don't know how. I mean, I knew who his people was, but this is what I'm saying. I don't know who your people are or what conversation you need to have, but you can no longer. And matter of fact, you're in a position where they need to go through and renegotiate if it's already inked.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're going to short yourself for the next 3-4 months playing catch up to how hot you are. He heard me. They moved some shit around. A lot of shit moved around. I said, but in exchange for this information, you got to tell me what in the fuck you did. He's like, oh, yeah, I just post on TikTok. I was like,
which is something that he didn't want to do for a long
him.
time.
I said, nigga, I literally, quote, nigga, not another app. He's like hilarious because, you know, he doesn't often get called nigga. So he's like, look, take a screenshot of my TikTok right now and then come back tomorrow and look at it and compare the 2 screenshots to each other. And this motherfucker had like 25.5 thousand new followers overnight.
Yeah, it was crazy.
But he was still low then. And I was like, my God. So then he shows up to the club and he just has a Sony AS7 III on a tripod. He sets it up himself. His opener goes up and he's like, just stand by it, make sure nobody bumps my shit. And he films only his side of it.
Yeah.
Does this thing. He's like, I'm going to clip that up. Clipping it up. We sit down and talk about it. I'm like, dog, I'm starting to film, but the captioning is a motherfucker, bro. Like, I'll watch a movie on cable and every commercial break, I'm literally like transcribing myself into, because at this time we didn't have the AI yet.
Yeah.
So it was like, if I said, you know, look at this motherfucker head or whatever, I gotta go look at this.
And then make sure it syncs up with the.
Only 3 words can be on the screen. So then I'm like, new one. This motherfucker. Next one, head.
Yeah,
dot. I was like, God damn. So I could watch all of Titanic and caption 2 videos just off of typing during commercial breaks.
And that's why people were charging $100.
We were so tired. I said, Matt, I'm fucking exhausted, bro. Exhausted trying to like just do these things. Like, but it's worth it. Just keep going. Posted. Brand new to TikTok, something got 12,000 views. I said, wait a minute. 600 followers. I said, wait a minute now.
Yeah.
I've been on Instagram forever and could not get past 104,000 followers. And on TikTok, 12,000 or 6,000 come in, or 600, come in just overnight. I said, Matt, you're onto something. So I kept going. Then I started adding layers to it because he was moving around and filming. He got to bring his camera with. I have my own club.
Yeah.
I knew where I wanted my camera at. I knew how I wanted to get my sound. So I had sound sorted out before Matt even had sound sorted out. His sounded like the room he was in.
Yeah.
I had found a way to have podcast quality sound,
right,
and
that's
still
what's
get
important
audience.
in those things.
Yeah, and so as soon as I found that out, I turned right back around and was like, "Yo, Matt, get this." He's like, "Bet." So then it became this a synergy relationship where like thank you for putting me on. And Matt has always been like, dog, all I did was tell you to get, you don't have to keep saying thank you. You do not. I'm like, motherfucker, please.
Yeah.
The thing you told me, the platform you told me to get on, and I've been spinning my wheels everywhere else. Like this is an audience on this new app where they're actually willing to press follow.
Yep.
Instagram had already gotten to the point where people are like, I'm happy with everyone I follow. I don't need to follow no new person.
Well, I think the algorithm too changed. It became.
I
a
get
thing.
it, but once if Instagram decides what you are, who you are, and how much exposure you should have, and there's really no way to shake up out of that.
Yeah.
TikTok is willing to be like, you're posting more.
At the time, because they were new, and now they're Instagram.
Right. Facts. They're even frustrating.
Even more. Yeah, yeah.
But I'll say at the time, and Matt had already been doing it he'd been posting the videos for about 6 months to 8 months.
Yeah.
What he was able to do and how fast he was able to grow in the 6 to 8 months, even with me catching the same fire, just fucking catapulted him, even though I did a slingshotted him 5 years ahead.
Yeah.
Right? To where now when I have conversations, like business development conversations and stuff, they literally are saying his name in every conversation. Like, yeah, we worked with Matt Rife. We love Matt Rife. Do you know Matt Rife? Yeah, Matt Rife, right? And I'm not the type of man to be like, I'm going to keep saying another person's name like that. But that's my boy.
Yeah.
Right? So where I'm at now is I went from not knowing what the fuck my future held and just being like, I'm just going to grind it out. I'm going to get these clubs. I'm going to do them for the $1,500 a weekend. I'm going to do whatever. Immediately, my own team wasn't ready for it. I said, I need a heat check. And Gersh was like, all the clubs are booked for the year. I'm like, ain't no fallouts, ain't nothing. Like, didn't want to do the work. So I called around to people I knew who owned clubs as well and was like, let me get a date. So my first one, where his was Florida, my first one was Jenny's Club, Laughs in Sacramento.
Yeah.
Because Jenny was like, hell yeah, I'll book you. I don't give a fuck. 4 shows, let's go.
Yeah.
She called me back 2 weeks later and was like, you want to add? I'm like, sure. She's like, I don't normally do Sundays, but I'll put 2 Sundays on here for you. I'm like, let's go. So and all that shit, 6 sold out shows. I tell Gersh, hey man, I just sold out a market that I do not be in frequently to people that I do not know.
Yeah.
And it's fucking packed. And Country Wayne was there the same weekend at the theater, the Crest. So I'm like, essentially the audience that wants to see me should already be over there, and I don't have nobody. So,
well, I don't know why you even made that call. The real call should have been like, thank you for your service, but I'm moving on.
I didn't get to have that. So then, and I've told how this stuff happened a couple of times, but for the sake of saying it, I'll say it. So then I booked with Casey and Hillary Huston that had the mic drops. I did Chandler, 12 sold out shows. Then I did another mic drop. All that was sold out. Then I was on the phone. I was booking my club and working with Jenny Kim at Innovative and Tamara Goings. And they're like, Baltimore Comedy Works, the factory over there, they just had a fallout, or it was something one of their clients could not do. And they're like, just out of curiosity, have you done Baltimore? And I'm like, nah.
Hey, you probably demolished her in Baltimore.
So I go to Baltimore. The
city was gracious.
Yes, but so this is the biggest East Coast. It's 500 seats.
Yeah.
And it's not black owned, but the crowd is black as a motherfucker at this club.
Yeah. I played.
I do Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Not Friday, Saturday, Sunday, which is my preference, because then you can push to the Sunday selling.
Yeah.
I go in there, 500 seats. I sell 300 out on the Thursday, and then the other 4 shows are completely sold out. And 75% of the crowd is non-black.
Yeah.
And I said, that's the last thing that I would have needed to see, because now I've sold out in each time zone, and I know that my shit, and people are coming up, do you have a meet and greet? Can I buy? And the line is now 120 people long to buy shirts. And I'm like, damn, I only bought 104 shirts.
Yeah.
I'm out of shirts.
Life-changing.
They're like, sign my titty. I'm signing titties, babies. I'm like, okay, the needle moved. At the end of that line were 2 agents from the CAA, one from New York and one from LA. And they had both converged on Baltimore to be like, can we talk to you?
And that's it.
It wasn't, though, because I'm loyal. So I turned back around to Gersh and I said, let me tell you what just happened, man. Somebody potentially tried to poach me. And from what I understand in the game, I think they're bigger, stronger, faster, whatever, than you guys. But even if they give me a little team, because it's all about your team. You can have a huge agency name
It's all about it's about that hungry person that believes in you.
You got 3 dirt balls, and they
Yeah.
ain't doing shit, but their business card says a huge name on it.
Right.
So I said, listen, man, I'm being courted. And so here's what I'm going to do. I'd like to have a lunch with you guys and see if you circle the wagons around me in-house where I've already been for 6 years or whatever, what you could do if you actually gave a fuck.
Right.
I'm in this meeting, and about 10% of the way through this meeting, a guy who I didn't know, who I hadn't seen before, he was over like brand development or something like that for people. He was like, well, let me ask you a question, right? So he gets to the floor, and there's like maybe 14 people in this room. And he was like, do you think that it's worth comedians like time and energy to like to be on TikTok? Do you think TikTok is an effective thing for comics? Like would you recommend comics get on TikTok? Are you on TikTok? The whole room gets quiet. Because what the fuck? Nigga, the needle is literally
TikTok
redlining because I'm over on TikTok. If you don't know the difference between your client for 6 years and then why I'm even having this meeting, so it got quiet. And everyone who knew and was abreast of it was like, oh, fuck. Like, I watched the moment where my agent was like, yo, who? And it was quiet. And then like 4 people jumped in to talk at the same time. Yeah. And I was still like, and they're like, oh, well, actually, if you were familiar with what's going on, right? And my agent, who was literally like for touring, who I've been working with the most, he ended up being like the loudest or longest talking, so everybody else fell off. And he was like, so we're circling the wagons and getting everyone here on the team familiar with what the needle move. I said, all right, bet. Meeting at CAA was the next day. My manager is like, whatever I meet, if you're down here, you're gonna meet with her, you're also gonna meet with them too. So I go over there, and it is ridiculous.
Yeah, night and day.
No, it is slavery and freedom different. It is night and day does not get it. It is flip-flops to Jordans. It is it is midget to Shaq. It is I was like, oh my God. Like 10 minutes in, I wrote a little note and I was like, this is problematic for Gersh. And I handed that over to my manager while they're all still talking straight face like I'm at a used car lot or whatever. And he was like, folded up, put it in his pocket. I'm keeping that forever. And then they finished their pitch. And then I went back to Gersh and was like, listen, now we have to have a real conversation about what this is. And there was no hard feelings.
I used to be with Gersh a long time ago.
I was with Val Sloot. I still fuck with Val.
I'm not even going to say my guy. I loved him, but if he had a commercial, his commercial would be, do you want comedy? Do you want headlining comedy at discount prices?